This week we're dealing with conflict and how to maintain power while engaging in conflict when it comes to being in leadership. We know leadership is something where conflict always arises, and we cannot avoid being involved in some sort of conflict, whether we're on our job, whether we're in church, personal relationships, or friendships or everyday living. Conflict is something that is unavoidable. One thing I've learned in conflict is that we have to be able to maintain our integrity, we have to maintain our voice, we have to maintain our standard while dealing in conflict. And one of those things I believe is power. And power is one of those things where everybody wants to be the most powerful. They want to be the one in charge. They want everyone to know that they have the power to do and say, to get rid of, to change. And power is something that while dealing in conflict is necessary, but sometimes having power doesn't mean that we are the ones to always insert that power. And a lot of times we just have to step back and look at the situation, assess it, and see what's going on, understand that our role in this leadership position that we have, and understand that we need to know everything that's going on involved. So while we do have the power, we need to maintain some type of dignity and some type of control while dealing with conflict. And we also have to be prepared in this conflict. Conflict can be resolved if we're prepared in the correct manner. I believe that we should always have all the facts, listen to both sides while trying to find a resolution to the conflict, and understand that both sides may or not be happy with the resolution or conclusion of the matter while dealing in conflict. So those things go hand in hand. The power, being prepared, being more prepared than underprepared. I think having the skill to navigate conflict is something that may or may not be easy for some people, but learning how to navigate in leadership of what conflict is. And then speaking to that um, conflict and being prepared, also having the correct information or data and let it speak for itself. There are times where conflict arises, and there's some things that it's going to speak for themselves. If there's a problem person, it's going to speak for themselves. If there's a good person, it's going to speak for themselves. It's going to speak for themselves. If there's facts involved, the facts will speak for themselves. And we always need to understand that all those things come into play while dealing with conflict and letting the data speak for itself. A lot of times we could just read something and the facts will be there or the data will be there to prove or to show us um, what the end results are. So even dealing with conflict, a lot of times we cannot negate the fact that there are facts that are involved that play a part into dealing with conflict. And I think finally being neutral or finding a third party, someone who can listen or be the listening ear to each side and understand that every point is valid or it may be invalid due to the situation or circumstance when dealing with a specific conflict. And so having a neutral party who could see all sides, who not concerned about power, who understands facts, who can understand that each person or persons or parties involved have a voice that needs to be heard while dealing with conflict, and it's unavoidable. So, dealing with conflict, we have to be prepared. We have to understand where we stand. And also, there's a particular order in dealing with conflict. So, the Bible talks about do everything decency and in order. So, we have to do things in a particular order that pertains to the situation when conflict arises. And dealing with that, and if we would attack those things head on instead of avoiding it, we'll be able to come up with better solutions with conflict in our leadership roles. And this way, having the preparedness or being prepared, we won't be caught off guard and we'll be able to deal with conflict better as we progress and learn the key skills and knowledge in dealing with conflict.